Now, sports with Garrett Brown.
Now that we are well into 2025, the countdown is on for the biggest tournament in Grand Junction, the JUCO World Series. And we already are taking a very early look at some of the teams that may be making the trip out to the Western Slope to compete for a title. The official preseason NJCAA poll is out, and should be no surprise that the reigning champs, the Blinn Buccaneers out of Brenham, Texas, they're taking the early #1 spot. Blinn stormed through the tournament on their way to the first title in program history. The Bucks posted a 47-17 record in their regular season, then caught fire at Simplesio, averaging 14.5 runs per game during the tourney, only losing one game, and that was only by 1 run, setting records along the way, including the most hits in the series and most runs scored in a 6-game series. Blinn received all 10 first-place votes in the poll. Blinn head coach Dusty Hart, who won Coach Tourney of the Year last year, aims to make his 2025 team the first team to go back-to-back since Chipola College did it in 2017 and 2018. Only 6 schools have won the JUCO World Series 2 or more times in a row. San Jacinto is the only one to do it multiple times, doing so in the late 80s and early 90s. And the defending champs aren't the only team on the top 25 that would potentially be making a return to the Western Slope. In the top 10 alone, there are 7 teams from last year's field. McLennan, the 2021 champs, are in at 2, and then Iowa Western rounds out the top 3. Johnson County, Georgia Highlands, a fan favorite from last tournament, and Florence Darlington and Crowder are all in the top 10 as well. Taking a look at the entirety of the top 25 poll, 9 of the 10 teams from last year's field are on the list. You can see them indicated in red, with 3 of the returners outside of the top 10, those being Crowder, the 5 seed from last season, Shelton State, who's made it to the past couple of tournaments, and the College of Southern Nevada, Bryce Harper's alma mater. Interestingly, the runner-up from last season's tournament, Northwest Florida State, they're the only exclusion from the top 25. Another couple of teams as note as well, the number 4 ranked team in the whole poll, Florida Southwestern State out of Fort Myers, Florida. They've actually never made it to the JUCO World Series in their program's history. The defending champs from 2 years ago, the College of Central Florida, is on the outside looking in, but they did still receive votes to make it onto the list. And the champs from 2 years ago and the tournament before McLennan's title run, Central Arizona, they're in at 19. And you might see a lot of fans around the Western Slope pulling for that Central Arizona team to make their return to the JUCO World Series. They are one of 3 teams with a local player on their roster. Former Palisade Bulldog baseball standout Brett Rosman now wears Central Arizona Vaquero colors. Speaking of wearing them, Gage Wareham, the Southwestern League Player of the Year last year, is across state lines playing for Salt Lake City, the former Montrose Red Hawk. And Lucas Weaver, former ace for Fruita Monument, is over at Cowley. The biggest tournament in Grand Junction, the JUCO World Series, kicks off May 24th.